This is College Football 360. I'm Kevin Cork. We're with you each and every day here at CBSSports.com. Mr. College Football is Tony Barnhart. He joins us once again. This time, Tony, I want to ask you about the openings over in the SEC. Yesterday, we learned that Mark Stoops is going to be leaving FSU for the job over at Kentucky. Two-part question. One, is that a good move for him? And two, what about those other vacancies? What are we hearing?
Well, the Mark Stoops hire surprised me a little bit, but when I heard Mitch Barnhart, he's the athletic director, his rationale, it made sense. He wanted to shore them up defensively because they haven't been very good. But more importantly, Mark Stoops has done a very good job recruiting South Florida while he has been at Florida State. And there's no question, if you looked at Kentucky, they've got to get an infusion of talent into that program. So a combination there. I thought Kentucky would go more with an offensive guy, a spread guy, sort of similar to what Ole Miss did with Hugh Freeze, but Mitch Barnhart went in another direction. Mark Stoops is a good football coach. We'll see how it works out. And as far as the other openings are concerned, Kevin, I mean, it is all over the map. What rumor can we get into today? I mean, I think we just should give John Gruden all three of these jobs that are left. Just let him do all three, because he seems to be the guy that everybody wants. I mean, we had a rumor today that, you know, John Gruden was going to go to Tennessee and get a piece of the Cleveland Browns because one of the big money guys at Tennessee now owns the Cleveland, yada yada yada. So it is going to be really, really something. I don't think anybody has any idea right now what's going to happen in those three situations.
Well, you said that absolutely perfectly. I keep hearing Gruden from everything, from coast to coast. I mean, the guy's got a great job. He's making great money. I'm not sure he wants to get back into the fray for all this stuff when he can do well and just sort of talk about the games, but that's just me. Meanwhile, I want to ask you about some of the current head coaches, Tony, that have been rumored to be moving on. A couple of big names stand out. Obviously, Jimbo Fisher is a guy a lot of people want to know, where will he go? Should he go? And if so, what's the best place for him to land? What are you hearing about Jimbo and maybe some of the other names that we have on the screen, like Taggart, McIntyre, Doran, Dykes? I love Sonny Dykes. Al Golden, a lot of people talking about maybe he may want to get out of Miami given what may be coming down the pike vis-a-vis the NCAA. And DeRuyter over there at Fresno State. Some big names there. Tell me about any that you're hearing about.
Well, let's start with Jimbo Fisher. I mean, I reached out to some people on the Florida State staff, and they tell me that Jimbo's not involved in any of these jobs. He likes where he is. He's got a very good chance to win that conference a bunch of years. That, you know, obviously it didn't finish well with the loss to Florida. Obviously, people look at Jimbo and they think about the Auburn situation because he worked there for Terry Bowden. But I was told yesterday that he's not involved in that situation. Some of these other guys, you know, Al Golden's name has come up with the Tennessee job. Obviously, Al Golden, I think, has done a marvelous job at Miami, got caught in the crosshairs of all this NCAA stuff, and I wouldn't blame him at all if he chose to move. So I think somebody would get a very good coach in Al Golden if he decides to make a switch. Are
you going to send any of these guys over to Colorado there for me, Tony? I'm just throwing that out there.
Boy, what a mess that was. I mean, the fact of the matter is probably, if you're not going to give John Emery a chance to fix what's wrong there, then you shouldn't have hired him in the first place. And obviously, the fact that they let him go after only 2 years tells you either they weren't going to be patient enough or John Emery was not ready for that job. But I hated to see that. Hated to see Ellis Johnson. They blow him out the door. Yeah, he goes 0-12 after they had gone 12-1 the year before under Larry Fedora, but to bring a guy in and blow him out after only 1 year, I mean, I don't think that's really smart.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the thing that really bothered me about the Embry situation is Mike Bohn has done this before. He's actually now fired 3 coaches. He removed Dan Hawkins from the job after 5 years of losing records. He doesn't even give Embry 3 years to try to right the ship. It's like if I dump a bag of garbage on the floor and I say, now clean it up, and you pick up the first piece of paper and they go, that's enough, you're out of here, I want to bring somebody else in. I just don't get it at all. And Mike Bohn is the guy who should be fired, the athletic director at Colorado.